friends, especially if you have to evacuate.
That was one of the problems last year with Florence, is that people weren't prepared for how long the storm was going to last. So they evacuated, thought, okay, be back in 24 hours, the dogs will be fine. That storm lasted for days and days. This one's going to be gone by early tomorrow afternoon, but it's still approaching right now. Let's take a look at the latest on Hurricane Dorian. Still a major Category 3 hurricane, 115-mile-an-hour sustained winds, starting to make that turn to the northeast, running right along the coast of South Carolina on its way to the coast of North Carolina. Let's check out the forecast path. We'll get an updated path coming up at 11 o'clock this morning. We'll get an update on the movement of the storm coming up right at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. It's going to weaken slightly, but it's still going to be a dangerous Category 2 hurricane as it goes along the coast, and the coast will feel the greatest impact overall. The heaviest rain, the strongest hurricane force winds, coastal erosion, storm surge, all of those threats along the whole coast of North Carolina. The storm's gone by early tomorrow afternoon, moving out of the Outer Banks and just out in the Atlantic. As it moves through, though, our winds are going to pick up here in central North Carolina. By late afternoon, it's going to be breezy in the Triangle. It'll be flat out windy farther south. Already tropical storm force wind gusts over 40 miles an hour in our southern counties. That just spreads farther and farther north as we head into this evening. This evening and tonight bring us the strongest winds overall. Now, this is an estimate from one of the forecast models of the wind gusts, the peak wind speeds. The sustained winds, what just is out there on a minute-by-minute basis, that's going to be a little bit lower than these numbers, but still enough to cause power outages, especially along and east of I-95. Look at these wind gusts for Wayne County and Sampson County by just after midnight. We're talking gale force winds over 60 miles an hour, and that is much more capable of doing more widespread damage, especially to trees, and also causing more widespread power outages. That's one of the main threats that we are going to be tracking as we head through this evening, tonight, and even into early tomorrow. Still some tropical storm force wind gusts along the coastal plain. Finally, the winds start to relax as Hurricane Dorian pulls away from the Outer Banks by tomorrow afternoon. It's a tropical storm warning for the southeastern half of central North Carolina, where those tropical storm force winds are most likely. Obviously closer to the hurricane itself, it's a hurricane warning. 75-mile-an-hour wind gusts or even higher are going to be the main concern there. Look at the pattern of the expected rainfall. You go from a little to way too much, and we are squarely the transition zone across central North Carolina. So west of I-85, less than an inch of rain, not a big deal. East of I-95, the potential for 4 to 7 inches of rain, maybe even more than that. That is way too much rain in a short amount of time. And again, any small change to the forecast track of Dorian, if it tracks a few miles farther offshore, it drags this whole pattern along with it. If it tracks a few miles closer to the shore, it pushes the whole pattern along with it. So everybody needs to pay attention to the latest trends. We'll be here monitoring the radar, keeping an update on those latest rainfall totals as they add up, and updating you on any flooding problems. No flooding problems this morning, but there's some rain out there. In our southern counties, we're looking at Cumberland County, Sampson County, over into Hope County, southern Moore County, and far southern Harnett and Johnston counties. There's some rain, light to moderate rain, but just the beginning stages, wetting down the ground, and that flooding becomes more likely as more and more rain falls on already saturated ground. So the Triangle, it's going to take a little while for that rain to move up. We do have the tornado warnings in effect near Wilmington and down towards Myrtle Beach. I think we are going to see that tornado watch issued for eastern North Carolina, but I think it's going to include some of our counties along the coastal plain. That's probably going to happen by 8 o'clock, so we'll keep you updated during CBS this morning. Let's switch over to Futurecast and show you how the storm is going to evolve throughout the day. Again, the heaviest rain is going to move in, starting our southern counties by midday. You're getting light to moderate rain right now, and then that heavy rain continues into this evening, spreading up towards the Triangle and continuing to fall, especially from the Triangle to the east and south into tonight, into early tomorrow morning. As we go through the morning tomorrow, that heaviest rain pulls off to the east. The last of the showers should be moving off the coastal plain by midday. It's just a matter of how much rain it drops while it's here. So here's the timeline of those various threats. Let me get out of the way and show you what that shows us. The tornado threat for us is going to ramp up as we head towards the afternoon, but again, that watch could be issued within the next hour, especially east and south of the Triangle. The high wind threat begins to shape up by early afternoon. It'll peak this evening and tonight. The heavy rain threat also peaks this evening and tonight, with the highest amounts east of I-95. As the rain continues to fall, the flooding threat increases this evening, overnight, and could continue even after the rain comes to an end. We'll be watching over the weekend for any potential river flooding as well. We'll be here tracking it for you, and we will keep you updated. Over the weekend, calm weather settles back in. Upper 80s for highs, slight chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, but today, tonight, early tomorrow, make sure you are staying weather aware. It's 6:57 on this Thursday morning, and it is a Thursday morning. You got to head out the door for work and all likely.